describe the reasons why people actually do seek sex outside of marriage. And I'd like to broaden that to intimacy because any form of intimacy, be it dating, be it kissing, be it oral sex, be it flirting on the phone, be it trying to, whatever it is these are the reasons. Starting with because they think that you have to have sex in order to determine if someone's compatible with you sexually for marriage. So my dismissal of that is why would you want to have a memory of having sex with someone besides your spouse if you intend ultimately to get married? And why can't you assess what you would want sexually? And do you need it to be like a perfectly compatible situation? Meaning the both sex organs match in a perfect, fit? Or would you consider being able to have sex with yourself and intimacy as a way of assessing, okay, this is what I like, and then being able to have internet conversations with a a potential spouse, somebody who you've already been talking with, and then you can further decide that, okay, I do want to go forward with this person, and I want to know personal information about them, such as their sexual aspects of their life, their pictures of their body, the frequency, and then other private like financial status, everything, debts. People can do if they want to, and it doesn't involve any sexual activity. It involves a formal scientific assessment of each other in a respectful way over the internet. And so that's point one. It's you don't have to have sex with people or someone in order to determine, hey, this person would actually work well with me in terms of sexual experience. Okay, and then the second reason people will choose, hey, you know what, I want to have sex before marriage. The second reason is because they don't masturbate. So they're constantly lacking in post-nut clarity. They're just desperate to get off. And it's different from desperate to have sex. Because when you're desperate to have sex, that's different. That's something else. No, this is more about being desperate to because mathematically once you get off then you don't want to have sex, at least for that day, unless special cases where people have these continuous needs for sexual, there are special circumstances, but generally when you get off you have post-nut clarity and you don't need to have sex, or nor do you even want to have sex. Right? So that's number two is that they don't masturbate. That's the reason that they want to have sex before marriage. Number three is because they are doing it as a social, cultural, religious thing. And you might think, well, religions discourage that. But the reality is, guys, is everything people do is a religion. Whatever people do, however they approach life and their lifestyle, that is their religion. That being considered, have Dami. All right, that's a good one, right? All right, so point three, religion. Yeah, this is point three. So culturally, so you just have to be able to see through it and realize that what's happening in the culture, and do you really want to experience that? Do you want to experience heartbreak? Do you want to potentially heartbreak someone? That's what premarital sex invites. Do you want to? Do you want to? Is that the culture that you want? Do you want a culture of single parents and all the conflict about that? Right. So that's all for you to think about. Do you want to feel like people feel? The problem is people hide everything. Like my parents, and that made me angry. Not just because I didn't have the same values as my biological parents, but because I wasn't being my own authority. And when you're submissive to a parent, either consciously or unconsciously, it makes you submissive in general. Right? So clarity in what you want, self-respect, and a sense of control and authority over life, you gotta stop labeling people your parent and start label if you want them in your life and they like you, you have the same values, label each other as spiritual brother or sister. But don't label them as mother, father, aunt, even things like older brother or you know grandparent. All that implies authority, and you don't want to ever label someone as authority in your life. Okay, so then, oh, okay, so what do we have then? Then, then we have, oh, that's already three solid points. Uh, okay, another reason people have premarital intimacy is because they are lonely. So it's not even necessarily about the sex, but it's about wanting to be close to someone and connected and feel, you know, feel like they are cared for. And all that's a consequence of not being connected to yourself. Or maybe in some people's case, especially women, they may really need that care. So it may be like maybe for women it's better that they cling, they in the Bible there's this concept of clinging to your parents. Maybe especially for women they should have an authority over them because it helps them to feel a sense of care, that people care about them, and they don't have to trade their body in order to get that, because that's the fake care. If a man really loves you and wants to be your husband, he should want to be around, even if for various reasons you can't have sexual, uh, you can't have full on sexual activity. All right, that's a good point. So 5 reasons why you can't, reasons why people engage in premarital intimacy. Sometimes it's a fu to it's a counter action towards people saying that people like I was saying don't believe that there's a God up there. By the way, you guys check out how cool this is. Look at where I am. Yeah, look how cool it is. It's like we're going into the mountains, boys. Yeah. All right, so like I was saying, especially for people who don't believe that there's a God out there or a hell, which I don't, then they really get offended when you say, "Oh, you're gonna make God angry," or "You're gonna or go." What's logical, on the other hand, is what's logical is that all the other reasons I'm naming, which not all religions talk about. What's logical is that it'll be harder to have a connection with your future spouse. And why would you cheat on them in the first place? If you really believe that you can get a future spouse, actually, this leads me to point 6: is some people are like, they say they want marriage, but they're just really saying it to make people think that they want it, but they don't really believe in it. Like, they don't believe that they can get marriage. And what type of spouse they want, right? So far, the only reason it's yes, we're back. People, point number 7. People say they don't want that they think they need sexual experience, or that they want someone else to have, or that they want someone else to have sexual experience. It doesn't make any sense, because people should people should want to both be virgins and experience and enjoy sexuality together, and not be thinking about other sexual experiences they've had. You know, like, for example, let's say there's a woman with a, ass that I think is the nice ass, but she has a personality I don't like. Like, why would I want to get sexually attached to someone like that? Wouldn't it be better to get sexually attached to someone who I like all aspects of them? Maybe even if their ass isn't as, you know, exact as I would like. Uh, and people don't realize that even if someone's not, the most attractive person you can think of, or their sex organs aren't exactly what you thought, you're, you're still going to be able to have a great time in bed. Like, it's just the reality. As long as you're willing to have this, as long as you're willing, this is the thing. As long as you're willing to have the same frequency and libido. Like, if you don't, then it becomes an issue. It becomes like people wish they had someone else because they don't have the same libido. You know, uh, and then one person wants to have sex, but then the other one doesn't. That's the problem. Right. So that's already a lot of points there, guys. Let's see what else there is. So, yeah, what else do we got up there? Number 8: why people are pursuing sex before marriage. Yeah, let me think of another one here. I gotta think. I want to say it's. I want to say it's because they're in the wrong environments. and other people are persuading them. So, for anything from school to work, where the work there isn't clear guide. When they say that they want marriage, by marriage, okay. Here's point eight. I'm kind of repeating previous points. Point eight is simple. It's that people have detached the idea of having sex, which is a life enjoyment, to they've detached it from the process of child rearing. And this isn't to say that, in the biblical sense, that people should only have sex for the purposes of procreation. That's absurd. No, because those people are all like, oh well, we'll have a great time in heaven, as long as we follow, non-pleasure on earth. Like, totally absurd, because what the fuck do you think happens in heaven? What happens in heaven is you reincarnate into your next life, and it's the only life can only exist on the terms that we have in the physical realm. It has to be the duality. It has to be the negative and positive, yin and yang, dark and light, and the interplay between the two. That's unfortunately what that is all that is. That's what's real. So, but not everyone is to that understanding. Right? So, but the thing is the emphasis I'm suggesting is they've decoupled child rearing, which is not easy. The benefit of child rearing is you're supposed to match it up with sex, so that if you're having sex, then you're also doing the hard work of working on child rearing, and that me um, um, when you decouple them, the benefit of having a family is that you get to have sex and also do the difficult thing of child rearing. But when you separate the two, then it makes it people think that that's all there is, and they kind of are selfish and hedonistic, and it's like doing a drug of sex and not working on society and the community and raising a family. And so, point number 9 is actually, I think you might be surprised, but the reason people have extramarital sex is because they use contraceptives. And it might seem like a very obvious reason, but I'm here to suggest that contraceptives are not good. Number one, because things like condoms and whatnot, they tease the fun out of it. They make it an incomplete experience. And it's like, why would you tease yourself? Also, the female chemical contraceptives, what those do is they change the woman. They make her what in fuck? I am not doing that. I'm like, there's no way I'm going on the fucking highway after seeing that chaos. So, people thinking that woman's birth control pill won't affect their hormones. Like, guys would never take that type of stuff because they know it would reduce their testosterone. Women, it's making them act less like. It's wanting them do the research on this. It's making contraception is making women want more feminine men. Um, that idea. That's a fucking. I just came up with an idea. Oh, I have an idea, boys. Yeah, I'm gonna take the idea. Okay, the plan is I'm gonna circle back this way. Nicely done. Nicely done. And I'm gonna avoid traffic. I'm gonna shoot the side roads. Shoot the side roads. Shoot the side roads. Nice. Not like to wait in traffic. Any billboard. So yeah, this has been fun, guys. So that's number 9, right? And the last reason why people are into the whole premarital thing, intimacy thing, is oh, I was gonna come with a good one. Is it's because they don't value virginity. The men don't, but and women should, because they know that, through slut shaming, we know that women know that it's it's like reduces your value as a woman to be self intimate, right? So, but what else do we know? We also know that it reduces your. We know that it reduces your value as a man if you have a woman that's very promiscuous and you marry them. And this is the reason why. These are the reasons why people engage in premarital intimacy, because they don't value that sanctity, that blank slate of that clear mind of who they could be. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let's talk more.